Okay, we are back, and this test is going to be of the Iridium and the Sunset only into the Meri I box with a Hosa TRS to TRS cable. I've taken the Compadre off the table because I don't have a 3-into-1 splitter cable, so it wouldn't help us anyway. So what we're going to do now is we're going to access this directly using the apps. We don't have any other Widi devices other than the Widi jack connected to 5-pin DINs on the Midi I/O box, and it is plugged into port number 1 only. So we'll come over to the laptop or the iPad, and we're going to click on the Iridium application, and we're going to scan for Midi devices, and it is the Meris device that's connected, so we're going to connect to the Meris device. And Midi channel 1 is the Iridium, which you notice is currently off. And we're going to come down here and we're going to click the test button. And of course, the Iridium comes on. The Iridium is plugged into the Y cable along with the Sunset. So we're going to click to show that the test was successful. Then we're going to scroll down and make sure that the Enable Midi Input, which is if you have a Midi input connection to this device, you can change the patch setting in the patch editor by turning and or switching the knobs on the actual pedal. So this enables control of patch settings from the pedal, and that is activated. So we'll come over here and we will choose the clean jangle again. And you'll notice now when I go up to the Iridium, both lights are on because we've activated that particular patch in the pedal. We'll go up here to the drive setting, and if you'll watch over on the left-hand side, the very top blue line, as we turn, it is now affecting the setting in the app. So not only are MIDI commands going into the pedal, but MIDI commands are coming from the pedal back to the app. Okay, excellent. So now what we're going to try to do is we're going to minimize that. We're going to go to the Sunset app. Now, the Sunset is currently not on. It is still plugged into the Y cable, which is plugged into port 1 of the Meris Midi I/O box. And you'll notice that there's no power going to the MC8. Nothing is on, so it is not in the circuit. I'm just using it to hold the phone steady, the camera. And the Widi jack on the side of the Meris Midi I/O right there is connected by 5-pin DINs to the back. And the iPad is connecting and communicating to everything via that Widi jack and Bluetooth. So we come over to the Sunset app and we'll hit the settings button like we did before, and we're going to scan for MIDI devices. And of course, nothing is showing up. Okay, nothing at all. So we're going to go back to the iPad, and we're going to disconnect the Iridium controller, come back to the Sunset controller, and now you saw that pop up. The Meris is now being recognized. We're going to scan for MIDI devices anyway just to make sure, and yes, it is indeed there. We're going to highlight the Meris Midi I/O. Now, it is communicating to the Sunset via channel 2. Sunset is not on. Okay. But it is connecting via MIDI channel 2. So now we're going to test by clicking the test button to see if it activates the on and off of the Sunset. And of course it does. Okay, so we'll check the box below that says, if the test switch the pedal B light on and off, then confirm connection is okay. So we've checked that box. Scrolling to the bottom, and we're going to make sure that the Enable MIDI Input Enable MIDI Input function is checked. Enable control of patch settings from the pedal to the app. And of course, that setting is checked. Then we're going to go to the patches themselves, and we're going to pick on the Texas Classic patch. Now, since I've highlighted the Texas patch, you'll notice the light came on the Sunset because we've activated that patch. And you'll look at the A level there on the left. A level. That's the level knob on the Sunset. So if I try to hold this still and come over here to the level knob on the A side of the pedal, you'll notice that as I turn it, the A-level slider in the app changes. So that is receiving MIDI and sending MIDI through the Hosa Y cable that is plugged into port number 1 only with nothing else plugged in, okay? And so far the only gotcha that we've had is that one app at a time can be open. It's not allowing us to have the Iridium controller app and the Sunset controller app open at the same time. All right, and I'm sure I'll be back with more tests later. Thanks.